Dinosaurs ruled the Earth for about 160 million years. Yet, they never evolved. Advanced intelligence. Humans, by contrast, developed civilization in just a few million years. After studying hundreds of dinosaur skull fossils, scientists found that dinosaurs had relatively small brains compared to their massive body sizes. But that doesn't mean they were stupid. The main reason dinosaurs didn't evolve higher intelligence is that their bodies were already powerful enough. They didn't need to rely on brain power to survive. A Tyrannosaurus rex could generate a bite force of up to 13 tons. A Triceratops had enough head strength to flip a heavy vehicle. A Stegosaurus could snap trees with a swing of its tail. These animals were built like biological machines. Early human ancestors, on the other hand, were physically vulnerable. In a world full of predators, survival depended on problem solving, cooperation, and tool use. Without intelligence, they simply wouldn't have made it. For any species, evolution has only one goal: survival and reproduction. Different species take different paths. Some evolve sharp teeth and claws. Some develop speed. Others rely on camouflage. Intelligence is just one strategy, and it's an extremely expensive and risky one. In humans, the adult brain makes up only about 2% of body weight, yet it consumes roughly 20% of the body's energy. In children, the brain can use up to 50% of total energy intake. If a T-Rex had a brain proportionally as large as a human's, it would have needed to hunt significantly more prey every day just to meet its energy demands. In the resource-rich environment of the Cretaceous period, that trade-off simply wasn't worth it. Human ancestors, facing relentless survival pressures, spent around 3 million years, increasing brain size from about 400 milliliters to 1,400 milliliters. Temperature was another limiting factor. CT scans of dinosaur skulls suggest that dinosaur brain temperatures fluctuated widely by as much as 18 degrees Celsius. The human brain, however, requires a relatively stable temperature to function properly. Even small deviations can cause serious impairment. Such instability may have made complex thought processes difficult for dinosaurs. Interestingly, paleontologists in Canada discovered fossils of a dinosaur called Troodon. Studies suggest its encephalization quotient, a measure of brain size relative to body size, reached about 0.3, close to that of early humans. Troodon could grasp objects with its forelimbs. Its forward-facing eyes provided stereoscopic vision. It was capable of walking upright, using supercomputers to model Troodon's evolutionary trajectory. 5 million years into the future, scientists suggested it might have evolved into a humanoid dinosaur, roughly 1.2 meters tall, tailless, with dexterous fingers and a brain volume approaching 1,000 milliliters. Geological records show that in the 10 million years before the asteroid impact, Troodon populations were increasing globally. If the mass extinction at the end of the Cretaceous had not occurred, Troodon might have eventually developed intelligent civilization and become Earth's dominant species. But 65 million years ago, a roughly 10 kilometer wide asteroid struck Earth at about 20 kilometers per second. The impact released energy equivalent to 10 billion Hiroshima atomic bombs. Shockwaves circled the globe within 24 hours. Dust and debris blocked sunlight. Temperatures plummeted. Plants died as photosynthesis collapsed, and ecosystems unraveled. Dinosaurs, unable to adapt to the rapid environmental changes, went extinct. Meanwhile, animals like turtles and crocodiles, species with small brains and low metabolic rates, survived. Their low energy requirements allowed them to endure long periods without food under extreme conditions. Body structure also played a major role. Human civilization was built on the foundation of dexterous hands, capable of making and using tools. Most dinosaurs lacked forelimbs, suited for fine motor control. T-Rex had arms too short for complex manipulation. Stegosaurus used its forelimbs primarily for support. Triceratops had heavy, cumbersome claws, Only some smaller dinosaurs had relatively flexible forelimbs, but their small bodies couldn't sustain the high energy cost of a large brain. Evolution left them stuck in a biological bottleneck. Human ancestors, however, endured rainforest collapse, repeated ice ages, and extreme climate swings. At times, early human populations were on the brink of extinction. Lacking sharp claws, thick fur, or overwhelming physical strength, humans had no choice but to rely on intelligence. They learned to control fire, craft tools, adapt to diverse environments, and eventually spread across every continent, building advanced civilizations in just a few thousand years. Human intelligence wasn't a deliberate choice. It was a forced adaptation to harsh environmental pressures. Dinosaurs chose the more common evolutionary path, strengthening the body. If humans had been born with the power to shatter mountains, perhaps we would never have prioritized the development of intelligence either. That's the reality of evolution. Intelligence is not a guaranteed gift of life, it's a costly survival strategy, forged under pressure.